Hello everyone, today is Tuesday, November 15, around 10:28 p.m. New York time. Guys, we're going to start the technical video for tonight with a message that we saw today in Asia, we saw a move in favor of the dollar. We were expecting this move to happen. Again, the thing is that following the Elliott Wave count, the market do not retreat enough into a B wave. Now, where we are right now, we believe that we are in wave C of wave Y already. In other words, it looks like the move in the case of the euro from 38.16 high on Tuesday on Sunday is taking the form of a three-way, and consequently that move is already on the C part of the move, or is already in a process within the C wave, in other words. Now, let me explain to you how I see it. Okay, let's go over the correlation, and then we're gonna let you guys know why do we believe that we are right there. Okay, this is the S&P. The S&P, like everyone know, is a very, very interesting pair, because it's the one that is going to guide, or is going to take, the market is going to take the direction most of the time that the S&P. Now, we have three scenarios in the S&P, and I'm going to label you guys the S&P as follow, for more bullish to less bullish, because at the end of the day, this is a sideways consolidation. The move from here to here is a clear three-way, making the case that this is more to the outside, and making the case that all the move that we are seeing in the S&P, in the Forex pairs, should be a B-wave correction. Now, let's start with the most bullish. The most bullish is that this is the top, and then we have A, B, C, D, E. This is 1, and then the S&P is going to respect this low, and it's going to bounce down. That scenario is the one that is going to put the dollar with a minimum strength, and then, in other words, this is the one that is going to take the euro dollar, so you guys know, to around 134. Now, second scenario in the S&P, again, the second most bullish scenario. It goes A, B, C, D, because this was a three-way move. Now the S&P tonight is going to make another three-way move. It's going to bounce from the trend line on the E way, and then from there the S&P is going to trade higher. And then the less bullish scenario is A, and then a B-way triangle, when you have A, B, C, D, E, and then if that being the case, the S&P is going to trade to around the equal legs, around right here, and then from here it's going to bounce. Remember, B-waves cannot be a triangle. I'm sorry, wave 2 cannot be a triangle. So this high should be taken anytime, at any moment. That high, in my opinion, is going to be taken. Now, let's keep going. That's the S&P. Now, today, there was something funny in the market. Why? Let me put the euro in top of the S&P. Look at the correlation, almost the same, but lower euro, lower S&P, recovering in euro, recovering S&P, lower euro, lower S&P, recovering S&P, higher euro. Guess what? From here, the S&P recovered, and the euro did not. So we believe that around this time is when the B wave took place on the euro, or that this whole move on the euro is just one move. All right? Now, that's for the euros. But you guys see how S&P is trend, euro win next. That's not usual in the market. Now, let's take the euro out and let's put the US dollar with the S&P. I'm sorry. Let me take the euro. I'm sorry, I took the S&P by mistake. Look, US dollar trend right here, S&P is trend. Like I say, someone is cheating right here. My best guess is the dollar is the cheater in a degree that the dollar was lagging most likely, and then the dollar needs to get straight. Now, a taking of this level in the S&P is going to open the door for another leg down to trace to around the trend line. But what I say is this, look, the dollar from around this time was getting a strength at the same time of the S&P. That's no usual in this market. In this market, most of the time, when S&P is trend, dollar got weak. All right? Now, let me put another pair. It's the Canadian dollar. Now, Canadian dollar is very interesting. Why? Because Canadian dollar is the deeper wave B in the whole market, as you guys should know. Look, the blue is the Canadian dollar, and guess what? Look, because the Canadian dollar correlate with the S&P, with the dollar, you guys gonna see that right here. Look how they correlate, and then at this time today, around 7 a.m. in the morning, 8 a.m. in the morning New York time, is when we believe that the B wave took place right there, and it started until, I would say, it was around 6 p.m. New York when the B wave technically ended. And then from there, the cat is doing the move higher, and like it is, S&P, the move lower. That's the way it should be. You see that the red goes higher, the blue goes lower, all right? That's exactly what we like to show you when it comes to market correlation. Now, let's move on to the individual pairs now. For the individual pairs, let me start with the dollar in a 1 hour. Let me save this, overlay. Let's move on to the dollar in a 1 hour. Let's wait for the data to come. Okay, this is the US dollar in a 1 hour. As you guys remember, we say this morning that we have a perfect 5-way move onto here. And I believe that at 7 a.m. in the morning, the market did a retracement right here around, 10 a.m. in the morning. And maybe this is all we got in the B way. But also can be the case that, remember, maybe you have A, B, and then you got a C, something. Until here, there was 13 wave, 14, and we are in 15. 15 is corrective. So we're expecting this move to be corrected. As of right now, it's a 3-way move. Now, let me put the 1 hour in the dollar. The data is very slow right now. Okay, this is the US dollar in the 4 hour. On the 4 hour of the dollar, like we've been saying, what we were expecting, this move. It looks like that move, it won't happen. Now, you don't have to be a genius to understand that this move looks to be a 3-way move on the RSI, unless this is happening tonight and the dollar is going to get strength and erase all the ugliness within the RSI. We mentioned today that this looks like a flat in the middle. So maybe what we got on Sunday and Friday, it was a C-wave flat, and then the dollar is going to look from the equal legs that comes around the 79 proposal area. Who knows? But for what I see on my RSI, this looks a three-way move, and I believe that everyone should wait for 78.63 to be tradable before start taking some dollar shorts. Now, I don't recommend at this stage tonight to get long, wait some confirmation within the US dollar index before taking either side. That's for the dollar. Now, let's move on to the individual pairs because I want to show you some interesting data there. Okay, on the individual pair, let's start with the euro dollar. The euro dollar is the same scenario as the dollar. Maybe we have a flat B, and we are on the C, but we believe, again, that today around 10 a.m. it's very possible that we did get right there, or we're going to get into the B way. Now, this is what we are expecting when we did the date. Eventually it won't happen, that count anymore. But what we like is that either the dollar, if it's going to break lower, so it be. I don't see it happening. Like I say, if you take a look at the RSI, look, that's bullish divergence. And we mentioned in all the days when we present the bullish divergence in the dollar, in all the dollar pairs, that the move is powerful, there is a 400 picks, and I agree. Now, unfortunately, we sell it here, we didn't take it, we should have been stopped out, but at the end of the day, we knew that this is going to happen. So, eventually, it's happening. So, what else I can say? Now, but look at the divergence that we're getting here. Again, I'm going to make the case for ABC. This move with the lowest price and a higher momentum made the case that can be the case of a flat. If that's the flat, technically the move on the C-way should end at around 34.16, which is the 618 of the A, or the move can extend all the way down to 131.69, but I see that very doubtful. Another label that is 34 issue hold, and it should represent a strong support right there, being the 76.4, being this low right here. This area right here should create support. Again, too early to tell, but in my opinion, it can prove corrective. If it is a nest to the downside, like I say on the dollar, it needs to get strong today and erase all this divergence. That's my opinion about the US dollar. Now, let's move on to the dollar CAD. Why the dollar CAD? Because the dollar CAD, if you take a look here, it looks very contracting on the middle. Now, the dollar CAD, you can look at it. I mentioned today that we like to buy the dollar CAD around 101.50. It never get down there. It went to 101.90. But it's the deeper B way in the whole market. You guys can see how at dollar CAD ended at 4 a.m. in the morning, and then from there decline, not too much, but to around the 38.02 of the move. But from the lows on the dollar CAD, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 swing. Now, there is two ways to look at the dollar CAD. Let me explain it to you. First way, ABC, this is W, S, and then here you can make the case for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if this is A, which is the same here, you got a B, and then you need 5 ways to the outside. Otherwise is W, S, A, B, and C. And if that's the case, you have to look on the dollar CAD to end the move, I would say around 103.85, or if you measure these two, should happen around 102.90. Anyway, it looks corrective. Let me put again the RSI. Look the divergence that you have right here with the highs. It looks corrective. That's what I've been saying all over. Now, a strong move can erase all that divergence. Now, finally, let's take a look at cable. What we were expecting in cable, and a strong recovery. Now, let me take the B way that most likely never gonna happen. And cable is making an interesting point here. Let me put the candles on cable. And then you guys can see this. From the top, it can be the case that it did 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is 3, 4, and a 5, and then this is 4, and A can be the case that happened over here in cable. Now, if this is A, because this was W, remember, if this is A, and then you got the B here, but from here in cable, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 swing. Very interesting. Now, let's take a look at the RSI in cable again. Look. Lack of momentum is a typical C wave in some degrees, or a fifth wave. So, the question is, which one is the correct count? Now, it can be the case that we have levels that needs to be seen. We were expecting 157 in cable. That's exactly what we're getting. It bounced this morning from the equal legs right there at 157.93 this afternoon, or this night in Asia. And then now, you have to take a look at the equal legs, in my opinion, from around this area, and 157.16 can be the case in cable. Now, what can happen in cable? Like, if you go, but I want you guys to take a look at this. I see two ways. Either this is a whole move, that can be the case, or you should divide it in 5, 3, 5, and then from here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you downgrade the RSI right there a little bit, and you come from here, you can make the case of from here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You see 5 swings. Maybe it's an ending diagonal, and we still are in the A way, and then like that, right? 1 and A, and here a B and a C. Who knows? Now, but you see, even in the 15-minute chart, you're going to see how even in the 15-minute chart, you're going to be able to see the divergence that you're getting. So this is bullish, guys. I mean, I would be the only one in the whole world thinking like this right now. Sometimes I believe that, that I'm some type of craziness myself. But look, cable in the 4 hour, as you guys know, and we have been saying all over, cable 57.18, if it gets down there, can be, that's been the target all over. Maybe what we have at the end of the day is WSY, ABCWS, ABCY, targeting 57.18. Again, this is an 8-hour RSI. Let me down low a little bit to the 4-hour. You guys can see how also it makes the case of the 3-way. This looks corrective in my opinion. So with that in mind, let's wait. I mean, we are trying to get long risk when the opportunity get there. At this stage, we don't recommend getting short risk. It's kind of unfortunate sometimes happen that the market knows you can have the right count, but those are right there all the scenarios that we can see within the market. We believe that either we are in the 10-minute move, or we believe in the Forex market, and we are allowing a kind of more weakness within the S&P. But the S&P, guys, is key in this whole event that is taking place right now. All right? So let's leave it there and see how the market reacts tonight. Thank you.